What is the actual goal of the climate change movement? Not what they say, but what they do. A few days ago, we saw a story about a nuclear plant in Finland that actually had to throttle its electricity because it was producing so much that electric prices went negative. In contrast, in Germany, where they just closed their last plants, prices for industrial customers, which are usually the cheapest because of bulk discounts, are over 18 cents per kilowatt, which is 54 times higher than Finland's recent peak. So high, in fact, the German government just announced a 200 billion euro package, equivalent to 1.2 trillion if it were the US economy, to insulate households and pay companies so they don't close down or move overseas. Begging the question, why don't we just build more nuclear plants and ditch the rest of the climate agenda? After all, nukes are zero emission and they are very safe today, contrary to environmentalist propaganda. Even Fukushima was built in 1971, which is 52 years ago. In fact, modern nukes are amazingly safe compared to, say, wind power. A recent Scottish study found in the UK alone over 1,300 wind turbine accidents per year, that extrapolating from previously public data, the UK wind industry now has legal confidentiality, so it doesn't have to report injuries and deaths, suggest about 50 people killed by wind turbines per year in the UK alone, including workers and bystanders killed by blade failures. That extrapolates to perhaps 1,500 worldwide per year. Add in solar, millions of rooftop installations, which kill over 100 people per year in the US alone, plus hydro, where 158 workers died building a single dam in China, along with 4 million residents who lost their homes. In comparison to this carnage, nuclear has killed a grand total of 32 people in history ever, and never with any design built since the 1970s. And then, of course, there's the cost. Wind and solar are incredibly expensive, even after trillions in taxpayer subsidies, 1.2 trillion from the hilariously titled Inflation Reduction Act alone, and perhaps tens of trillions in aggregate worldwide. And of course, renewable power is often utterly useless since grids need uninterrupted power. So utilities have actually shut off the wind and solar, throwing it away, because of these fluctuations called curtailing. Finally, of course, the carbon dioxide. Personally, I don't think man-made global warming is significant, even if you rebrand it as climate change. But even if you do believe it, that would imply going all nuclear, which is, of course, zero emission. The fact that our mainstream instead fights nukes hardest while pushing green lobby unicorn farts suggests, to me anyway, that the entire project has little to do with the climate, but with something else. So what is that something else? We got a hint the other day when LinkedIn censored presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy for daring to say that fossil fuels, well, specifically the cheap energy they provide, are essential for prosperity. This is obviously true. Energy goes into everything and prosperity saves lives. But of course, it's against the political religion that casts us all as sinful carbon footprints that must be centrally planned. Ideally with a world government with dictatorial power over everything from banning gas stoves to wiping out Dutch farmers to, just the other day, France banning cheap flights while leaving billionaires to fly their jets to the next town, perhaps to lecture us about climate change. The climate agenda is about control, using the environment as a marketing and a fundraising prop, and they are just getting started. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.